Today's daily vlog update diary. I want to make sure that I talk about what happens during the day, but I also want to make sure that I start trying to weave in like entrepreneurial lessons that I guess I mean either answers to questions that I get, or I want to make sure that, you know, I can provide you with something that you can just like take and actually like do something with, some type of actionable item, or I want it to be semi-inspirational while also just making sure that you also hear about our life. So just figuring out what that order is, I'm going to have to play with that balance because I think it's really important. And also I can't let this be huge time suck. I mean, it's not, you guys are really important, but I also need to move forward on stuff. Because like right now, when I talk to you guys, I'm going to be working on P4P, which is our paid for performance here, to see how people are running from an efficiency standpoint. But what I wanted to touch on just tonight, because it was just kind of going through my head, because last night I was kind of struggling. Oh, my collar, look at that, that's crazy. But last night I was struggling because I was having a tough time with us having to go back to Arizona soon and having a baby and all these things. And it made me start thinking about like the beginning when I started doing entrepreneurship. And I think the big thing in the beginning was, when was the time? Like every budding entrepreneur, I think they have like this burning question. And that burning question is this the right time to start a business, right? And I mean, is there ever a right time? I don't know. I mean, is there a right time for me to go down to Arizona right now with the baby on the way and everything else that's happening? I mean, we have this thing too, like Oleo's expanding. It's all great. But I mean, there's no clock, there's no calendar, there's no day that you're gonna find that says, you know what, today's the day. It's entrepreneurship time. You're starting your own business. And I think more than anything, and sorry, I'm gonna keep working here, but I think more than anything, like the timing question, it's probably like the most asked or debated and probably contemplated question in the world, right? Like, I mean, no one has an answer. So I just want to kind of dive in. I think like, and this is just something I was thinking about last night when I was laying in bed. Everyone and every entrepreneur will say that they had a moment that they started that wasn't ideal, whether it was like a recession crash, or I should say you're in the middle of a recession. Can you really have a recession crash? Not really. So maybe you start in the middle of a recession. Maybe you're starting other branches in different states while having a kid. Maybe you waited until you had 10 years in the industry and you just couldn't pull the trigger. Everyone just has a reason to wait, right? Because there's nothing perfect. So I think there's different journeys, and I think they all have a common thread. And I think the truth is there's really no universally perfect time. There just isn't to go through the pain of starting a business. I mean, I think the big thing is like every single person can ask, what would have stopped you from starting a business, right? And for me, you know, if I didn't jump in and I wasn't addicted to the game now, the things that would stop me from doing it right now would be, I have a child on the way. I would say, I want more experience in the industry before I really go for it big. I might say, I want more money, from the standpoint of I need a lot more cash to create the proper buffer. And maybe my final thing would be like, hey, I just want a sign. I want a sign that says it's time for me to go do my thing. Because at 30, that would be really tough to go from a nice consistent job where I bring home the money every single night and I know my hours. There is limited stress. I mean, obviously there's stress with every job, but I don't have the pressure of keeping the lights on. And, you know, that is what would stop me. That's what would stop me if I was doing it now. So I think what people need to do, and I'm going to say this is from my experience, right? In my experience, instead of searching for the perfect moment, I think you just got to focus on a couple of like core elements. Do you have the passion and the drive? Like, does your heart just beat for business? Do you have like this dream of something massive that you want to create? And is it just like, oh, I can't stop thinking about it? So that's number one. Because for me, I actually do think about landscaping all the time. I think about this oleo all the time. I think about building something great all the time. I can't help it. Like, I'm a sucker for it. The second thing is, do you have the preparation? Have you done the research to actually start? So don't just go off on a whim and do whatever you want to do. I think you need to know your industry. You need to know your competition. You need to know what you're doing. And lastly, do you have adaptability? Like, can you change? It's not easy. You have to roll with the punches, and you need to have a partner that can roll with the punches with you. I mean, I have Ashley. It's amazing. I get upset. I have little spasms, little tantrums. I freak out. And Ashley just keeps me on the straight and narrow. If I didn't have her, I'd be screwed. So it wouldn't be, I think I would have the excuse of, I can't start a business because I have a wife. And believe it or not, now that I have multiple, I am now saying, man, my businesses would not work if I didn't have a wife. So it's weird, that timing, right? So I think I realized that I would always be too afraid to do it and start businesses like later on in life. There'd never be a good time. So I was just passionate enough that it was just time to do it. It was time to go for it. So I definitely think it just is what it is. I think that's sweet. But now I'm kind of getting caught up in my day-to-day. So I guess to sum up that part of this is, I think you need to stop asking when is the right time and start asking, am I ready? Am I ready to do this thing? And that's really all you can do, because you might not be ready today. You might be ready in 6 months. You might be ready in 12. I think I heard a stat today where it's like the top 1% of entrepreneurs that are starting businesses are like in their mid 40s. So a lot of those guys have experience. Man, these shirts, they do not, whatever, sorry. But yeah, so you have time and you can gather experience. You can do all those things. Now, in our business, what happened today? So I actually started implementing something for me right now, because even as the CEO, I'm not the best. I'm not. I lack some efficiency. I lack some urgency. When I'm here and I don't have to worry about having employees look over my shoulder, and I can set pace when I go out in the field, when I do that, and I can work really, really, really hard, and then I can come back here, and every once in a while I can chill because I have other coworkers around here that, they don't know what I need to get done. I just saw some of my productivity shifting, and I think it was, usually I'm like way up here, right? And I think it's kind of been on a downward trajectory, and that I don't want to happen, because we need to be crushing it right now, and I got to be pushing our company so hard, and that starts with me. So what I implemented today is I text Brad and Brian, and I said, they're managers of the company, and I was like, here's what's going to happen every day moving forward. You guys got to hold me accountable, and you need to say, hey, we want a list of the things that you did today. So I'm taking notes on my computer, and I have it on my notepad on my desktop, and what I'm doing there is I'm writing everything down for the day, and I'm putting down all my tasks, and I will send it to them tonight. And they can do an audit of what did I do during the day, and they can call me out if I'm sucking. They can call me out if I need to do better. They can call me out and make me better. And also, if I'm looking to be a lagger and chillax, me knowing that I'm going to send this at the end of the day, it pushes me to be like, I need to get more done because I want to impress them, because I'm an egomaniac. So I started that today, huge. Second thing, jobs are getting done, which is good. It's what you want. Things are rolling. We need to have a solid run here for a couple months, or else Arizona is going to be really freaking stressful. Last thing, one of our trucks got hit by a cement truck a long time ago. Got a quote for $6,700 to fix it. Told the company $6,700, let's fix this thing. They sent a check. We haven't cashed it yet, and it hasn't come yet. Mechanic, a friend of Brad's, was just looking at the truck, and he said that our frame is kinked, and that truck should almost be considered totaled. The person that quoted it, the company that quoted it, missed it. So thank goodness to him. I don't know what we're gonna do with it yet, because it's gonna be probably kind of hard to go back to that company and say, oh, well, this was missed. Here's what we actually need. But we'll bring that in Friday. We'll see what happens. So fingers crossed that we didn't get completely screwed on it. But yeah, that's all we can do. We can keep learning, improving. So what I did, I actually sent in a picture, because they said all we need is images. So I got a quote based off of images. I guess don't do that. Bring it in physically and make sure they look at it and then tell you what they think. So little life lesson there, little life lesson. I don't think I have anything else. I'm just looking at what I did today, and really it was a lot of quoting. Big thing is, I think we sent out, looks like, I don't know, about $40,000 in quotes today, and 40 to 50, and we've been doing a lot of follow-ups on some things. At least we closed on 20 grand in work today. We need to close on a lot more to finish out the year strong, but yeah, no complaints, got a lot done, and that's my update. Thank you for watching. I hope I gave you some type of lesson that was of value, and I'm gonna focus on value-oriented videos with updates. So let me know if you like that. Okay, I'll see you in the next one.